All right, YouTube. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for checking in. Today, we're going to look at our first mods. Hey, it's about time, right? What kind of Jeep person drives around without a mods already, right? So we've been pretty much stock. And like I said in the review video last, I'm not going to do a whole lot right now, I don't think. But two things right off the bat that not only did I see as being a need, but I wanted anyway, was getting a new antenna to replace the stock and headlight guards. And these headlight guards are I think they're going to be better than even what I expected. But the antenna, pretty straightforward. I'm not going to make a recommendation on type or brand or anything like that. I had a replacement on the JK that always worked fine. This is not anything special, but it definitely keeps it out of the brush and everything else, and keeps it from flopping around back and forth and hitting your windshield and everything else. So definitely went with a smaller antenna and headlight guards. And I'm going off of what I'm comparing what I had with the JK. So let's go over and take a look at that. So here at the JK, you can see the Euro guards that I had previously. And they're fairly thick, but looking at these look to be even more robust. And I'm gonna pull these out of the box here for a comparison. The Gladiator's lights are bigger, so the cover is going to be bigger as well, I believe. Stand by. So getting these out of the box, that is a nice, thick, wide guard there in comparison to those. So I like the design of these better than the Euro guard. I think these are called a fishbone. And you can see their rugged ridge. It's the only one I saw like that wasn't like that. And I like this design better. And if you're looking at the last few videos, headlight guards actually are useful. Believe it or not. And I like that these, when I look at the install of these is different, whereas in the ones on the JK I have to drill on the side here and here. These actually go mounted inside the what do they call this piece? Your front grille, not the grill. Oh man, I'm losing my mind. I need to replace that on the JL2 or JL, the Gladiator. But to be determined on that. We'll discuss that in another video. Well, actually, we might discuss it in this video. But that's where we're at on modifications. That's where we're at this point. So I think these are going to be a good upgrade on the Gladiator here. I think these will work well. I think these are universal with the JL and the Gladiator. Going off the box, it says JL on it, but they're the same front. But I think they'll be useful and not just ornamental in a lot of respects. One thing I am thinking on these is paint matching the covers to the orange. It's a to be determined, I think. Let's take this out. It's kind of to be determined, but I don't want just black around the front of around the Jeep in general. And that's why I'm leaning away from doing a lot of mods, because so many of them are just flat black, and I don't necessarily want it all white, but I'd like to have some of the orange accents around. And I think this might be, I already got dirt on these things. I just grabbed them. Goodness. But having an orange on there might be a little bit obnoxious. So I'm kind of stuck. And any ideas are appreciated. But I want to talk about replacing the front grille here and stuff like that. There's some cool things out there I like. I had a replacement bumper on the JK. I like the look of this factory bumper here on the Gladiator, but all the replacements are just flat black, and I don't want chrome. I would like to have something that was able to have accents like this with the orange, keep that. If it required a little bit of painting on my end, it wouldn't be terrible, but I don't know if I'd be able to, how that would look. I'm kind of like leery of changing anything for right now because of that. I would like a steel bumper. There is a cool, what do they call it, the Apocalypse bumper with guard that's in the store or in the online there. That's kind of cool, but again, it's just it creates this flat black appearance. I just don't want to have a white and black Gladiator, you know. So how I could accent it with orange would be something important that I would like. If I had a way to paint it some white and some accent orange, I'd like, but I'm not sure if I'm capable of doing that. If anybody's done anything like that, let me know, because I'm hesitant to throw that around and start just throwing things on there that, and paint jobs and stuff when I'm not experienced in that. But what other mods are we looking at? So I had the fender flares replaced on the JK as well, and I'm looking at doing that on the Mojave. It's hard to find a good pair of flares that also have the lights in them. Not that you actually need them necessarily, but I think because they are your turn signals, you're legally required, maybe, to be determined on that. But I don't mind the lights being out there, and I would like to get a replacement flare that did, but biggest thing is I want a metal flare to replace the plastic like we did on the JK. But also, one of the things I hate about the stock ones is this pocket under here where mud just accumulates. There's this big pocket under here that all the mud flies up in. It's this big hole, this big gap. Anybody that's got one has known it. I had forgotten about it on the JK because I had the flat flares for the longest time, and then I got to cleaning this after obviously it's not clean now, but cleaning after the first trip, and I was like, oh yeah, that mud trap that sits under there, I forgot all about that. It becomes a pain, and it's hard to wash out. It's like, why can't they cap that with something? That's one of the, I don't know, I need to do a video on just things Jeep let us down on, like things Jeep could have done better to support their customers, right? That might be my next video. It's an idea. One way to say it, like, come on, man, you guys could have done better than that. But that's just 2 mods and some other things I'm thinking about. There'll be more to follow, more discussions. But anybody got any experience replacing your front and your bumpers and getting any paint on them? Again, I haven't been able to find the color match on what these orange accents actually are. I don't know that it's the, what do they call, the pumpkin color on the other body colors, or if they special matched it, if this is a separate orange, because I think you can get the body color for that pumpkin, what they call the pumpkin color, on the other body colors, but I don't know that this matches that, and I can't find what that color is on anywhere that I've looked online. Anybody knows that would help me out. But yeah, front bumper, your front grille replacement. That Apocalypse grille looks really sweet, and it's a stubby bumper. So I'd have to get fog light replacements, tow hook replacement, and then looking for flat fender flares, metal, steel, to replace those. That's probably, the fender flares are, I'll probably wait till one of these snaps or breaks or gets damaged or something and hold on to it. But everything pretty much right now is looking on the front end. Speaking of the back end, I have been looking at the tail lights. I always thought the tail lights looked goofy, for lack of a better word, right? The tail light just bugs out here on the side. Those like 3 or 4 inches right there. There's a company called Oracle light that I've seen that is flush mounted. So it takes off this and flush mounts in there. I like that a lot. That might be a mod for the future. That's not gonna, it's mostly a cosmetic, because I don't think functionally these are bad. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to be driving across something that, you know, I'm not concerned really about this hitting anything or catching on anything. But having that flush mount, I think, looks better than the way these look when you're looking at it. I just don't like it, right? So that's another thing. If anybody knows anything other than Oracle, drop a link or something. Help me out. But just throw that out there. First couple mods, we're going to get this antenna replaced. We'll get this off, unscrewed, replaced, and get those headlight covers on. We'll get back with you when those are done. Hopefully it won't be too long. Hopefully it doesn't take a month, but we'll check it out when we get those replaced. Go out and do Jeeping things, people. Talk to you later.